And we're live. Okay. Welcome to the Artist Way Hangout Week 0. I am here with my sister, Krista, the word from KristaKubi.com. I will be going through the 12-week course of The Artist by Julia Cameron. In order to, what did I say?
Well, obviously she needs, because you're trying to describe exactly what your art means to you, words, and
Yes.
You're a visual person.
And this is something that a lot of artists, they have trouble with because they're so connected more with the right, but time describing them in words.
Words is a right brain thing too.
It is, but you know,
it's a different kind of.
It's a different kind to put it all together that makes sense.
Right, you're visual. I'm audio.
It's more like analytical.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So every Sunday morning, I'll be doing a check-in, a weekly check-in. That we have a tea time.
Tea. Oh, hang on.
Dink.
Okay.
Okay.
That should be the cover photo.
Okay, well, I'll screenshot that.
Yeah. You can screen. Well, yeah.
Hashtag. Okay, so I wanted to give you an overview of what the Artist Way is about. It is a 12-week self-guided course, and it's a book. Looks like this, The Artist Way. I'm going to link it to a link in my website. You can buy the book. I think there might be like a digital version as well. I like the physical version of the book. What were the other things? So going through the course, there are a daily tasks that she has you do. First of all, she has you write in a journal. She calls them morning pages, like MOURN, even though she has you do them in the morning, but they're like morning because they're getting all of the trash out of your head in the morning. Like you may have lists of things to do during the day, or other things that you think about, but she has you do it for at least 15 minutes or to write for about 3 pages, and that should give your brain enough time to work through all of the little left brain things to get to your more creative side. So that's a daily task. A weekly task is to have an artist date. She calls them artist dates, which they're just doing things with yourself, by yourself, for yourself. So once a week, you can go to a yoga class, or you can take a walk outside, or you can have a coffee at a coffee shop and have fun with yourself. Or I have like a whole list of like 101 things that I'll post on my website as well, of ideas you can do for your artist date. Then another weekly thing is to read the chapter. And at the end of each chapter, there's some additional like homework assignments that sometimes there's like a really long list. You can just choose. I'm going to choose 2. One that I really gravitate towards, that's kind of easy, and then another one that I shy away from or, resist. So you get a nice balance of a yes and a no.
Challenging yourself and also doing stuff you love.
There you go. See, word expert.
Yep.
So, and then once a week, we're going to have these little Sunday tea times where we're going to come back. I'm going to, do a, whatever you call it, a recap of the chapter of the week. My things that I went through, things that I learned, and yeah, we're going to talk with you. You're welcome to join us live. If not, this video will be automatically put to YouTube and on my website on a page specifically for this, The Artist Way. Okay.
What's funny is your head looks so much bigger than mine.
It's because you're sitting back.
I know. I'm sitting back 2 feet. But
It's because I'm the boss.
It looks like I'm a very, very fat midget. That's what it looks like.
That's funny because I'm the midget.
Yeah.
So we're having tea. How long can you tell? How long has this gone? Does it have a timer?
It doesn't have a timer. You kind of have to check the clock.
All right. I think I got through all those things pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's okay. You won't have to go over them again.
So, as a side note, so to write in my journal, I went through the first 6 weeks with a couple of other people earlier in the year, but I had a lot of other stuff going on, so I wasn't completely dedicated. So that's why I'm starting over and doing the whole thing by myself. But I went ahead and got a new journal specifically just for my morning pages to make it funner. This was like on clearance for $2, and it makes it really fun. And the pages are like striped on the inside. So I got a journal for that. And my artist date, I'm going to, instead of switching it up, making it easy and dedicating all of my artist dates to an art journal, which I have never started an art journal before, and I can't believe I haven't started it.
That's amazing because she's been a collager for a long time.
Yeah.
For like 20 years.
I mean, I've added collage into my regular journal writing before, but I've never had an art journal. So I bought, I have a big mixed media page notebook that I started doing artist date art pages on.
Are you going to post those too?
Yes, I'll post those on the same page on my website, so you can see those.
Follow those. I think you're making videos too. Making some painting videos.
I started making a video of it too, but follow me on Instagram. That's probably where I'll put them.
She's all over Instagram. They're all
Kezia Carter Studio. That's my at name on Instagram.
Throwing gang signs on Google. I don't know. It might kick you.
Well, hey, I learned that this is really hashtag. I just learned that.
She thought I was just being silly.
So the whole point of this
is
doing this.
Delicious.
Besides the fact that I'm doing this to grow myself, but for you following along, I'm developing a course to teach people how to. So this is another reason why I need a course to help me articulate things.
Keeping it real.
I'm keeping it real. But I'm developing a course to teach people how to make their own abstract paintings, but more than just putting a bunch of paint and colors together, have more meaning behind them.
Cover the canvas. Cover the whole canvas.
Cover the whole canvas. So I'm making affirmation portraits right now. 2015, you can sign up. I'm making them at cost right now. So that is helping me develop the course of how to teach you to make one yourself. So what was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
You're developing a course for abstract painting.
Right. So,
and right now, if you'd like to get an abstract painting, she'll do it at cost, which is amazingly cheap for fine art.
Yes. Which the link will be on this website as well. But basically, the affirmation portrait, I was going to explain that it's a custom mixed media painting designed to inspire you to achieve your goals, your desires, your affirmations. The ones I'm doing right now are 8x10s, and they're turning out really cool. I've already kind of modified the technique because it's awesome.
I think we should start to talk about what we're actually going to talk about today. Link to everything. Follow her on Instagram, for crying out loud. They're like, okay, how many more commercials are you going to have until I actually get to the show?
Well, this is just the intro. I was explaining what this is, and then next
week, this is what we're going to do.
This is what we're going to do, and this is my intent for the next 12 weeks.
Okay. So we can.
But I was also going to say
back to this show.
Doing the artist way for yourself is really going to benefit you of a startup of how how you work as a creative person, because everyone is a creative person. I think this is what we should talk about in this video, week 0. Do you believe everyone has creativity in them, and or can everyone be an artist?
Well, I think first of all, not everybody can construct a necklace so that it stays on. This is staying on with a rubber band, which apparently it's not doing very well.
Which is a creative thing to do.
It is a creative thing to do. And I think that, you know, what is it? Like creation is the child of necessity or something. Human beings in general, when they need to solve a problem, they use their creative minds, because the logical mind, and you have to use both sides. I think that you really need to use both sides when you're creating. So I don't think that you necessarily use one side or the other when you're creating.
Right.
But it's the right side of your brain that says, what result do I need, and how can I get it from a place that doesn't exist yet?
There you go.
It's your imagination.
My favorite person who talks about this is Sir Ken Robinson.
Yes.
He is awesome about it. And his definition of creativity, he's a firm believer of everyone is creative. And just because someone is creative doesn't mean that they have to paint or they have to draw or they have to like create music or something. But his definition of creativity is something like the act of creating an idea that is original.
Yeah.
And that will there's a second part to that. Something like that will benefit something, but just an original idea that
well, and I think that, you know, there are people who are more logically minded, they're more left-brained, I guess you could say, and they end up creating, for instance, a rocket that will go somewhere. That was a bad idea. Maybe they will create something that's practically useful, like a garbage truck, right?
There you go.
But the designer is the person that says, you know, let's not just make a garbage truck. Let's make the garbage truck look like a giant ladybug. And there are two things that happen when that happens. One, the person who practically created something was being creative. They were solving a problem by being creative. They developed a truck to transport trash away. But the second person was creative in a different way. And I think that this is one that our modern day culture really takes for granted. And that is the talent of making something useful also look beautiful. That is also useful. That is also practical. And here is why. Because it creates a reaction inside of our souls. Like, which would you rather look at? A big truck that looked like a giant red bug that was cute, because to us, ladybugs are cute. I know in some cultures, I don't know, maybe ladybugs aren't, maybe they're heinous. But to me, I'm looking at a ladybug and I think happiness, because it's cute little ladybugs. And if I see a giant ladybug, that's going to elicit in me a feeling of, oh, it's the ladybug truck. You know, it makes you happy about picking up trash.
It makes you happy. That makes you not think about all the landfills that are destroying the earth because of our trash.
Well, first of all, we should get rid of the landfills. And that's another thing, is that the creativity, while we're dealing with life's problems, we can be happy along the way. And I think this is part of why I love your affirmation portrait so much, because it's based on how you want to feel. It's based on your core desired feelings. It's based on your goals. And so you create this, you know, this visual example that helps to remind you every time you look at it.
Right. The affirmation portraits are like, they are my words. Only they're not words because they're pictures.
And some people are visual. And so that's what I'm trying to say, is that both practically talented people who can be creative and solve a problem, and creative-minded, right-brained people they lift us up to that next level. And so that, in that way, I feel like anybody, yes, can be creative. And I think that by getting in touch with your right brain, whether you're right-brained or whether you're left-brained, will that will really help to open the gate so that if you're a practical problem solver, you can still be in touch with your right side and just end up being a little more balanced and open.
Right. So to close this this hangout, I wanted to quote from the book. This is from the intro. Julia was talking about how she came with this idea of helping anybody come up with develop their creative side. And she said she works in the film industry, like writing and stuff. So kind of like more like you, but she worked with a lot of people, like actors and stuff. She says, no matter what your age or your life path, whether making art is your career or your hobby or your dream, it is not too late or too egotistical or too selfish or too silly to work on your creativity. So let's work on our creativity together. And I'll give you, so next week, let's see. She does go through, there's the intro, and then there's spiritual electricity, the basic principles, and then that's what I talked about before. What to expect, and then the basic tools, the writing in your journal, have a weekly artist date, and then week 1 is recovering a sense of safety. And she talks about this, like shadowing artists and just kind of, what's that word?
Apprentice?
Like getting a sense for what they do.
Getting a sense for what they do.
Okay. So next week we're going to be talking about recovering a sense of safety in chapter 1. And that will be week 1 because this is week 0. So over and out.
So nice seeing you guys. See you next week.
See you next week.